Guys, today I'm reviewing a mini PC that I've been using as my daily driver for about a month now, and honestly, I'm hooked. Aside from the tiny footprint and insane power efficiency, this thing is dead silent. The performance is solid enough to handle my entire daily workflow. I'm talking heavy browsing with a ton of tabs open, video editing for YouTube, and even some light gaming and entertainment. However, it's not perfect. I did run into a couple of issues that you really need to know about, which I will share later in this video. Now I've actually been running this machine with Catchy OS and I even upgraded the RAM to 32 GB, but I'm going to share that specific experience in a separate video. For today, we are going deep into the out-of-the-box experience running Windows 11 Pro, which is surprisingly powerful, and this is the Geekom A5 powered by the Ryzen 7 5825U. When this unit first arrived, I honestly didn't expect it to be this small. Looking at the box, it seems like your standard mini PC packaging. It's a premium unboxing experience, hard box, nice seal. On the back, you get the specs for this specific unit, the AMD Ryzen 7 5825U, 16 GB of RAM, and 512 GB NVMe SSD. In terms of pricing, you can pick this up for around $480, and that includes a licensed Windows 11 Pro and a 3-year official warranty from Geekom. And aside from the PC itself, Geekom hooks you up with all the essentials. You get a thank you card in a black envelope and a user manual that actually matters because it shows you how to open the unit if you want to upgrade it later. You get a thick, high-quality power cable and a 65-watt power adapter. They also include a HDMI cable. It's not super long, but for a mini PC that sits right next to your monitor on the desk, it's the perfect length to keep your setup clean. You also get some screws and a VESA mount plate. So if you want to go for that ultra minimalist look, you can mount this directly behind your monitor like an all-in-one PC. And let's talk design. The dimensions are super compact. We are talking 11.7 centimeters by 11.2 centimeters and less than 5 centimeters tall. It weighs just 652 grams. Holding it in my hand is barely larger than my palm. But despite the size, the build quality is solid. The internal frame is full of metal, while the outer shell is a mix of polycarbonate and ABS. Unlike cheap plastic mini PCs that feel flimsy, the Geekom A5 feels rigid and dense. It's got this silver matte finish that mimics metal with a chrome ring accent on top. On the bottom, you have rubber feet that keep it planted firmly on your desk. This also hides the screws you need to access the internals, cool air intake on the left and hot air exhaust on the back. Geekom nailed the port selection here. On the back, you've got power input, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 2 USB Type-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports with support DisplayPort, then 2 USB Type-A ports, and an RJ45 Ethernet jack. For easy access, the front gives you 2 more USB Type-A 3.2 Gen 2 ports and a 3.5mm headphone jack. This is super convenient for quickly plugging in flash drive or headphones. You also have the power button up front. On the left side, there is an SD card reader, which for me as a creator is a huge win for importing footage. On the right, you've got a Kensington lock slot for security. For wireless connectivity, it supports Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. And here is the best part. It is user upgradable. Popping the lid is very straightforward. Inside you will find 2 SODIMM DDR4 RAM slots. My unit came with 2 sticks of 8 GB running at 2666 MHz, but you can upgrade this up to 64 GB total. And since the CPU supports up to 3200 MHz, if you do upgrade, I'd recommend grabbing faster RAM. Since the integrated GPU shares memory with the system, faster RAM means better graphic performance. Storage-wise, you have an M2 NVMe slot occupied by the 512 GB SSD, which support up to 2 TB. But there's also an empty M2 SATA slot for up to 1 TB and a SATA slot for a 2.5-inch SSD or HDD up to 2 TB. So you can max this thing out with 5 TB of total storage. So basically, the max potential of this tiny box is 64 GB of RAM and 5 TB of storage. Oh, and the Realtek Wi-Fi card is also modular, so you can swap it for an Intel card if you prefer. Setup was a breeze. It comes pre-installed with Windows 11 Pro, so it's plug and play, connect to Wi-Fi, select your region and language, log into your Microsoft account, and you're good to go. I love that they included the Pro license with all of these features unlocked. Usually, laptops just give you Windows 11 Home single language. With Pro, you get features like remote desktop host, perfect for running this as a headless server, plus Hyper-V support, Windows Sandbox, and full BitLocker encryption. Under the hood, we have the AMD Ryzen 7 5825U. This is a Zen 3 chip, 7 nanometers architecture with 8 core and 16 threads. Base clock is 2 GHz, boosting up to 4.5 GHz at 15 watt TDP. It paired with AMD Radeon Graphic Integrated GPU with 8 GPU cores, combined with 16 GB of RAM and NVMe SSD. The setup hit a score of 4560 in PC Mark 10, scoring highest in Essentials and Productivity. In 3D Mark, still Nomad Lite, it scored 934. Real-world gaming estimates based on this score suggest Battlefield 5 at 1080p gets you around 35 FPS, Apex Legends hits 95 FPS, and Fortnite runs at 85 FPS. Red Dead Redemption, however, struggles to hit 30 FPS. I also run Geekbench and Cinebench and the numbers are solid. For storage speed, Crystal Disk Mark showed read speed topping 3206 Mbps and write speeds around 2289 Mbps. For my real-world daily workflow, it's buttery smooth. I keep a massive amount of browser tabs open while multitasking with documents and everything stays responsive. Now for video editing, I found something really interesting. I tested DaVinci Resolve on Windows and the performance was great. Multi-layer timeline scrubbing and effects previews were smooth, even at 1080p without proxies. DaVinci Resolve is incredibly well optimized for utilizing the integrated GPU for hardware acceleration. Even with effects, CPU load stayed low at 20 until 30%, while the GPU hummed along at 60 to 65%. However, it was a different story with Kdenlive on Windows. Even dropping the preview to 540p, I got frame drops. Kdenlive on Windows is very CPU dependent and doesn't tap into the GPU well. Shared memory usage stuck at 1.7 GB, whereas DaVinci Resolve utilized up to 4 GB. So if you edit video on Kdenlive in Windows, you will need proxies, but on DaVinci Resolve, it flies. And that makes sense because Kdenlive is native to Linux. I actually edited this video using Kdenlive on KaiOS in this mini PC, and it was way smoother there. Rendering a 7-minute video in DaVinci Resolve took about 8 minutes and 47 seconds, so roughly real-time rendering speed. Photo editing in Affinity was also a breeze. Thumbnail creation was totally lag-free. Even during heavy rendering, the thermal stayed under control, maxing out around 66 degrees Celsius. The cooling is impressive, you can feel the air intake, but the fan itself is whisper quiet. I almost never heard it. Power consumption is amazing too, averaging roughly 20 to 40 watts thanks to the efficient 15-watt chip. It's built for productivity and efficiency, but that Ryzen 7 chip can still handle some fun. I tested Counter-Strike 2 on high settings and I got around 30 FPS. If you drop it to low or medium to get competitive frame rates, it's much smoother. For Euro Truck Simulator, high settings give me 25 FPS, but dropping to medium, lock it in at smooth 50 to 60 FPS at 1080p. GTA 5 on default settings consistently hit around 30 FPS, which is actually pretty good for an energy-saving mini PC like this. Now, to be completely honest, my experience wasn't 100% perfect. I ran into two specific issues that you need to know about. First, the wireless connectivity. Out of the box, I noticed the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth would occasionally just drop out or disconnect it randomly. It turns out the Realtek card can be a bit finicky on the stock drivers. The solution that worked for me, I just went to the official Geekom website, downloaded the absolute latest Realtek drivers and installed them. Since then, the problem seems gone. Second, and this was a bit scarier, I experienced some random shutdown. When I pushed the machine really hard, like during a heavy video render, it would sometimes just black out and turn off, almost like it lost power. I suspected the stock power brick on my unit wasn't delivering clean enough power under peak load. So I tried to swap it out for an Asus 65-watt laptop power adapter that I had lying around, and that completely solved it. No more shutdown even under heavy load. So if you pick this up, I highly recommend updating those drivers immediately, and if you push it hard, maybe have a spare high quality power brick ready just in case. So who is the Geekom A5 for? If you want to play AAA titles, look elsewhere. But if you are like me, someone who wants a dedicated power efficient workhorse, this is a really good choice. It consumes barely any power, only 20 to 40 watts, runs silent and takes up zero deck space. Plus, because it's so small and tough, you can easily throw this in a bag with a portable monitor and have a powerful workstation anywhere. And yes, it can handle light gaming for entertainment. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I optimize this mini PC even further by installing Linux CatchOS and upgrading the memory to 32GB of RAM, covering both software and hardware tweaks to squeeze every drop of performance out of it. If you have any question about this Geekom A5, drop them in the comments below. I'm Fabian, I'll catch you in the next video.